While I contemplated revenge for her affair with a wealthy man, karma stepped in and delivered justice on its own. Be me, 33-year-old Matthew Anderson, happily married for 9 years, living in a nice house in a small Minnesota town, working as a senior software architect at a major tech company. Have a wonderful wife, Amanda, who I trusted completely. 2 amazing kids, Claire, 7, and Lucas, 5. Life was perfect until that winter fundraiser night changed everything. Sitting in my favorite leather armchair, wearing my black tuxedo for first time in 3 years. Actually looking pretty good despite hating formal wear. Should be enjoying my favorite whiskey at home. Instead, stuck at this fancy charity event. It's for Hope in a backpack or something. Biggest social gathering in our town. Everyone who matters is here. Boss bought a whole table. Had to bring Amanda along. Told Amanda to buy something nice for the evening. Definitely wasn't expecting what she wore. Honey, I said attractive, not escort service, I joke. As she walks down the stairs, my 37-year-old wife looking absolutely stunning, her auburn hair done up perfectly, gold earrings drawing attention to her neck, wearing this deep burgundy dress, way too revealing for my taste, shows off everything from her gym workouts. Expected a proper gown. This dress screams, look at me. Can't help admiring her though. No, every other guy will be staring. Don't mind them looking. But she needs to remember I don't share. Amanda in her element at these events. She's a middle school teacher. Doesn't get many chances to dress up, but she has this natural charm. People just gravitate to her, like moths to a flame. Her wit and intelligence draw them in. We mingle for a while, dance a few times. I head to the bar for drinks. Amanda goes back to our table. When I return, find her deep in conversation with some guy. He's sitting in my seat. Turns out to be Senator Robert Martinez. Looks like Hispanic George Clooney. Tall, handsome, single, about 6'4", built like a football player. People say he might run for president. Stand there watching them. Amanda completely ignores my presence. Never seen her look at anyone like this before. She's practically drooling over him, like some love-struck teenager. Neither of them even notice me standing there. Decide to make my presence known. Excuse me, Senator, but that's my seat. Standing there with 2 drinks in hand. He keeps ignoring me. Continues talking to my wife, her face glowing with excitement. Wait another 5 seconds. Done being polite. Slide wine glass between their faces, breaking up their little moment. Put Amanda's glass on the table. Stand there between them. Hold my position until the senator finally gets it. He finally speaks. I should head to the head table, but I'll be back to continue our chat later. Says this to Amanda. Completely ignores me again. What an arrogant jerk, I mutter to Amanda. Take my seat back. I find him fascinating, she says. You were incredibly rude to a U.S. senator. You're my wife, not his. He was in my seat and wouldn't move. That's rude even for a future president. She does this perfect eye roll. That thing some women just naturally master. She knows I hate it. Told her that many times in our 9 years together. She glares at me. I drop it to avoid making a scene. She's angry but stays quiet. Dinner drags on for 90 minutes. Band starts playing again. People head to the dance floor. Stand up and offer my hand to Amanda. She shakes her head firmly, looking me straight in the eyes. Fine, her loss. Head back to the bar. Chat with other guests. Lose track of Amanda. Figure she's just socializing. Easy to spot the senator, though. His security detail gives him away. He works the room for half an hour, then steps out onto the terrace. Gets suspicious when Amanda doesn't return. After 10 minutes, decide to investigate. Head out to the terrace. Find them with an elderly couple. Senator has his arm around my wife's waist. Start to remove his arm. Suddenly someone grabs me from behind. Twists my arm painfully, drawing attention from everyone. Nobody messes with the United States Senator, pal. Voice snarls behind me. Getting pushed toward the exit. That's my wife he's touching. Say through gritted teeth. Get shoved back into the main ballroom. Security guy releases me. Tell him to get my wife. Unless he wants a scene. Damn it, he mutters. Turns back to get her. 2 minutes later, Amanda comes through the door. Face flushed red. Throws her hands up like she's innocent. Grab her hand. Practically drag her out of the ballroom. Drive home in complete silence. No, it won't last long. Amanda thinks best defense is good offense. You absolute jerk. You embarrassed me in front of a United States senator. She's screaming at me. Until this moment, thought we had a solid marriage. Sure, had ups and downs like everyone, but was confident we'd make it. Not anymore. You're my wife. Nobody gets to put their arm around you. Not even the president. You know that crosses a line. Yet you didn't even try to move away. Acting like some teenager with a crush. She blushes and stutters, then goes quiet. Bows her head. No, I hit the mark. She's clearly infatuated with him. If I thought she might apologize, that hope dies quickly. Instead, gives me silent treatment. Next few days are hell. Barely acknowledges my existence. Even our kids sense the tension. They avoid being in same room with us. Only time we talk is at dinner, using kids as messengers. Wednesday night comes. After putting kids to bed, Amanda says we need to talk. Not a casual chat, not a suggestion, a necessity. Those 4 words never bring good news. True to form, nothing good comes from this talk. My beloved wife drops the bomb. She and the senator are going on a date. This Friday night, actually tries to defend herself. It's not really a date at all, just accompanying him to another fundraiser dinner. Says this when I question appropriateness. Of married woman going out with another man. Sounds exactly like a date to me. If you're accompanying him, you're his date. And you're married. You have such a narrow-minded view. She gets defensive. I would never betray you. What would you call it then, when a married woman goes out with another man? Even if there's no intimacy, going on a date with someone else crosses a line. Would you be okay with me taking your friend Jennifer out? For dinner and dancing? She twists her mouth. Gives me that squinty-eyed glare. Knew mentioning Jennifer would get her attention. She's always had issues with Jennifer, who, as Rolling Stones would say, could make a dead man come. That's completely different, and you know it. Going with a United States senator isn't the same as a date. She tries to argue. All right, obviously, huge difference. Listen, Amanda, you can't go out with another guy, no matter how you phrase it. We're married. Remember those vows, that forsaking all others part? You don't own me, Matthew. Even though we're married, she retorts angrily. If I really want to do something, I can and will. I'm not your property. Property. That's what happens when you marry a crossword enthusiast. You're certainly not my property, but you are the mother of my children. And I really hate to see you break up our family. Try pleading with her. Her eyes widen in surprise. Finally got her attention. You wouldn't be that foolish. She scoffs. This is just dinner. No, babe. This is a pivotal moment in our marriage. She grimaces, but stays silent. Never expected this. Friday night comes, completely shocked when she comes downstairs. Wearing a form-fitting white lace gown, shows off every curve, reveals way too much chest. Never seen this dress before. Must have bought it just for him. Damn, I mutter in disbelief. She takes my curse as a compliment. Does a little twirl. Kids burst into the room. Freeze when they see her. Mom, you look like a princess, Claire exclaims. Why are you dressed so fancy? Amanda looks between our daughter and me, clearly expecting me to explain. Stay silent. Just stare at my wife. I can't tell her, Amanda stammers. You can't because you know it's not right. Say it sharply. Explain to your daughter why you're leaving us. Your family to go on a date with a U.S. senator. Mommy has to attend a special event for a while. Amanda tries explaining. Be good for Daddy. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Why isn't Daddy going with you? Lucas asks innocently, age 5. Amanda freezes, struggling to make up a convincing lie. Don't need time to tell the truth. Because Mommy doesn't love me enough. Both kids look at Amanda with shocked, hurt expressions. She gives me same look back. Truth stings, doesn't it? Doorbell interrupts us. Everyone freezes. Rings again. Here comes the moment of truth, honey. Him or us? She answers door on 3rd ring. One of Senator's security team standing there. Black limousine waiting in driveway. Remember to behave for Daddy. See you tomorrow morning, she says as she leaves. Guess she chose him. Stand there stunned. Then remember, still have kids who need attention. Want to raid liquor cabinet? Not an option right now. Need to make some FaceTime calls. One to my parents. One to hers. Kids enjoy talking to grandparents. Start with Amanda's parents. Always had strong relationship with them. Know they won't approve of this. Exchange jokes for about a minute. Until Amanda's mom notices her absence. Where's my daughter, Matthew? Have you hidden her in a suitcase? Mother-in-law jokes. No. Amanda went on a date with Senator Martinez. Expect she'll be back tomorrow. Say it softly. What? Mother-in-law exclaims. A date, are you certain? She called it accompanying the handsome senator to a fundraiser. I see it as a date. Perhaps more. And she won't return until tomorrow? Father-in-law interjects in shock. You just let her go? Tried reasoning with her, Dad. But she insisted I didn't control her. Told her she'd be neglecting her family. She seemed to think it was forgivable. Kids take over conversation for next 5 minutes. Actually appreciate the break. After kids finish, mother-in-law tells them to go to their rooms. Wants to talk about my wife. Don't do anything rash or foolish. She advises. Talk to her, Matthew. Don't just throw it all away. Think about the children. Like she did when she walked out the door, Mom. Just faint cough from mother-in-law. On other end of line, my own mother isn't as sympathetic when I call my parents. I know a good lawyer, dear. She offers right away. She represented Aunt Marie in her divorce. Completely outmaneuvered her ex's lawyer. Good to know. Make a few more calls. Decide to order pizza. Watch Disney movie with kids. No idea which one. Too distracted. put kids to bed. Don't even try to sleep. Spend evening watching ESPN, trying not to think about fact that my wife might be with Senator right now. Kids wake up next morning. Make big breakfast, chocolate chip pancakes with bacon. Everyone knows pancakes taste better, even when mom's not home. When will mom be home? They ask. She'll be back soon. Tell them, even though it's a lie. Guess when you've spent whole night with man who isn't your husband. No need to rush home. Black limousine doesn't pull up until almost 1 o'clock in afternoon. Kids playing in yard. Several neighbors outside when car arrives. Usually kids would rush to greet her. After being away, this time they stay frozen in place. Amanda looks disappointed. At lack of warm welcome, heads inside. Still wearing same dress from night before. Now all wrinkled and lifeless. Hair hanging loose around shoulders. Minimal makeup. Looks exactly like what she is. Someone who's been used. Move away from window. Settle into chair in living room. Stay seated when she comes in. Don't bother getting up to greet her. She looks completely exhausted. Hey, she tries casual greeting. Looks like you and kids managed without me. Looks like you barely made it through. Say pointedly. She blushes. Heads wearily toward stairs. Don't start, Matthew. Let me grab a nap and shower. She croaks. Raise hands in mock surrender. Screw it. Clear to me our relationship is over. Now just need to figure out how to make things smooth for kids. Really don't want to be weekend-only dad. Wonder if I can hold it together. Stay in house until kids finish high school. Amanda finally comes downstairs around 7 p.m. Already made dinner for rest of us. Tell her leftovers are in fridge. She gives weak smile. Kids sense something wrong. Keep distance from Amanda. That's great, Matthew. Did you spend whole day poisoning their minds against their mother? She asks quietly when we're alone. Although that would have been easy. I didn't say anything to them, Amanda. Kids are more perceptive than most think. They saw you leave us last night, watched your grand return this afternoon, as did many neighbors. Smooth move, by the way. Guess last night and this morning were worth alienating your kids and tearing apart our family. Brief flicker of guilt crosses her eyes. Before adopting defiant expression, I didn't tear apart our family. She retorts, that's up to you. If you can be mature, overcome your ego issues. We can repair and keep family together. But if you want to be petty and vindictive, then guess we'll go separate ways. And you can be Mr. Part-Time Dad. Wasn't expecting conversation to take this turn. Expected guilt and remorse, not defiance and anger. 1 in the afternoon, you idiot. Retort back. Didn't get your fill night before? Had to linger another half day? Just a fling, right? She hesitates. Avoids eye contact. We can move past this, Matthew. Return to how things were. I know I've hurt you. I'm sorry for that. But I had to do this for myself. And I don't regret it. It was an amazing night and morning. He's genuinely great guy and gentleman. I hope that wasn't supposed to be an apology. Because if it was, you're really bad at it. I'm only apologizing for hurting you, not for anything else. It was an incredible experience, she says firmly. If my eyes were lasers, would have stared her into oblivion. That wasn't exactly pleasant for me. Try matching her conviction. You broke your promises. To me and our family. And you did it quite easily. She seems taken aback. When I enter guest bedroom at bedtime, what are you doing? She asks. We can't move forward if you're not trying. No, I tried to prevent you from betraying me. Before it happened. Now it's too late. Make myself clear. She looks at me like I'm a stubborn child. We can't rewind time, Matthew. We need to look ahead. She insists. You're right, babe. We can't turn back time, but we wouldn't be dealing with any of this. If you had simply done right thing and not met with Senator, this is on you. You made the choice, remember? You said I didn't control you. You made your own grown-up decision. Not my fault, it was wrong decision for our family. But, she trails off. Gently usher her out. Lock door behind her. Sleep deeply. Likely from being awake 48 hours straight. And stress of situation. Sunday morning comes. Always make special breakfast on Sundays. Family tradition. Decide to make Belgian waffles using my fancy waffle maker. While enjoying our meal, Amanda emerges from master bedroom, looking completely disheveled, like she hadn't slept at all. Wow, Mom! Dad cooked us big breakfast both days, Claire exclaims. Maybe you should go out more on Friday nights. Amanda looks at 3 of us, bursts into tears, runs back to bedroom. Did I say something wrong? Claire asks innocently, being 7. No, sweetie. I think Mommy just said she missed the waffles. Try reassuring her gently. Later that day, lounging in my leather armchair, watching Chicago Bears destroy Detroit Lions. Hear bedroom door slam open. Doorknob hits wall. Barely 5 seconds later, agitated Amanda stands before me, babbling incoherently, gesturing wildly. How could you? Slut whore. Something like that comes out amid sprays of spittle. Pretty disgusting. Take it easy, honey. Can't understand a word. And you're drooling everywhere. Point out calmly. She screams, tears mixing with mess on her face. How could you tell my parents about my date? Now they think I'm the biggest slut this side of Hollywood. What's Hollywood, Mommy? Claire asks innocently, as she and Lucas rush in. Hearing commotion, raise my eyebrows at wife. Meet her intense gaze. She makes effort to compose herself. Tells kids to go play in their rooms. Positions herself in front of my chair. Spill it, she whispers sharply, as soon as she hears bedroom doors close. Didn't see reason to hide it from your parents? Since you were just accompanying Senator to fundraiser. As you put it, if they share my view of situation, not my fault. By the way, my parents had similar reaction. Might want to watch out. Next time Mom gets too close. No, it's not like that, she starts, then suddenly stops. A remarkable experience, I interject. If looks could kill, I'd be staying on chair. Doesn't bother me much. Ask her to move, so I can see TV. Grr! She runs out of room. Next 2 weeks. Keep sleeping in guest room. Tell kids I have cold. Don't want Mom to catch it. Pretty sure Claire figured out lie, but smart 7-year-old keeps quiet. Without saying word, find myself back in our bed one night. Hour after Amanda goes upstairs. Quietly slip in beside her. When alarm goes off next morning, she snuggles up to me. Feels so good, she murmurs. Time for you to come to your senses. She tries touching me. Stop her by grabbing forearm. Pull her hand away. Change position, so we're facing each other. Some actions are best done when you can make eye contact. You're getting tested and showing me results. Before I decide to sleep with you again, say it softly. You might trust Senator, but I don't. Tears well up in her eyes. Looks about to speak, then decides not to, just nods. Shows me she and Senator weren't using protection. Situation getting more interesting. Initial plan was to stay. Until kids finished high school, meant another 14 years. Until Lucas went to college, willing to endure for kids, but can't imagine going without intimacy that long. Especially with attractive woman in house. Despite what it says about my character, don't care much anymore. Love I had for this woman. Took massive hit 2 weeks ago. Keeps diminishing every day. Watch her leave bed with sad expression. In past would have devastated me. Would have done anything to fix her sadness. Now my own pain stops me from reaching out. Who is this woman now? Woman I married 9 years ago. Been with for past 11. Would have known without doubt. I'd never agree to her seeing another man, let alone sleeping with someone. Amanda and I met in college. Last year before graduation. 3 months later. Dating exclusively. 2 years after that. Got married. She was data analyst at tech company. One of those quiet types. Crunching numbers in cubicle. Always saw her as analytical honest. Maybe bit lacking in spontaneity and humor. Things I brought to relationship. With my disorganized, fun-loving nature. Thought our differences worked well together. Imagine celebrating 50th anniversary someday. Never saw Senator Martinez coming. About 10 days after returning to our bed, Amanda hands me envelope. Walking through door after work. Contains her clean bill of health. Hope you're happy, she mutters bitterly. No idea how humiliating that was. Might never face Dr. Reynolds again. Not my fault, babe. Respond flatly. Keep your legs closed to anyone, not your husband. Won't have to feel embarrassed. She snarls softly. Can't really fight back. Starts to walk away. Not done with her yet. How often has Senator been in touch? Since your date? We haven't been in contact. She starts, hold up hand to silence her. She gets the hint. Pained expression on face. Reaches into pocket. Hands me her phone. Quickly find what must be his number. Several texts and 2 phone calls. No sign they met again. Though he tried. Her texts don't encourage, but don't discourage either. Damn it, exclaim angrily. Walking on thin ice, Amanda. If I find out about another date, our kids might be orphans, because I'll end up in jail. After I'm done with both of you. Understood? Returns her phone solemnly. Shoves it back in pocket. Heads to kitchen. One night later, she shows attention in bed. Animal instincts get better of me. Don't have feelings for her. Just want to satisfy needs. Know perfectly well. She's trying to win back my favor. Don't care. More worried about something else. Given Amanda's dramatic return home. Can't help thinking about local gossip. No one says anything directly. Catch sympathetic glances from some men. Barely hidden grins from some women. Don't have to wonder long. One evening, sitting on back porch, deep in thought. Amanda watching TV inside. Claire comes up to me. Dad, what's a slut? And how did Mommy become one? She asks softly. Damn it. Damage to my ego isn't main concern. It's consequences reaching my children. No, I need to stay calm. Where did you hear that, sweetie? Try keeping voice neutral. Don't want to scare her. Girls at school said their moms. We're laughing about mommy being in the slut club. Doesn't sound good. Are all adults in our family in this club, Dad? Consider myself decent poker player. Need every bit of skill to keep face neutral. While addressing my daughter, Mommy made a mistake recently, Claire. It's something between Mommy and Daddy. Nothing for you to worry about. Other moms shouldn't discuss it, nor should they talk about that club. Want you to walk away? When other girls bring up that club, it's our issue, sweetheart, not yours. I'm sorry other girls were unkind to you. Hug her gently. Hide tears in my eyes. Hope she doesn't notice. This moment will stay with me until my last breath. Gradually, some kind of normal returns to house, at least from my point of view. Yet it's new kind of normal, whether Amanda admits it or not. Things never going back to before. Can't fully trust her again. Can't forgive or forget. Huge disrespect she showed me. In our family. Love? Well, to quote Tina Turner, what's love got to do with it? 6 months later, Amanda seems to understand something, or maybe finds courage to speak. After another night of passion, initiated by her, which has become common now, turn away from her to sleep. Before she speaks, hear her choking sobs. Matthew, can we talk? What is it? She asked timidly. Yes. Sigh heavily. Could you please turn around? Clear irritation in her voice. Sigh again. Try controlling annoyance. Turn to face her. She keeps looking into my eyes. Do you realize we haven't been close? Since... Say it, Amanda. Just say it. Insist firmly. You had courage to do it. Have courage to admit it. We haven't been close since I had a date. I notice you satisfy me physically. Then you go to sleep. Make sure I'm happy. But it feels purely physical. And you haven't hugged me since your date, Amanda. You cheated on me with him. Admit it. I'm not stupid. Go on date with another man. Don't come back until next day. Think I don't notice anything? You make it seem cheap and disgusting, she protests. Yes, we had intimacy Saturday night, and it was great. And he was gentle and caring, just like you. Really was an unforgettable experience. And that's why we're not making love anymore. Amanda, don't you see? You gave him something that, as you promised, was exclusively mine. And you liked it. Was unforgettable, as you just said. Oh, come on, Matthew. It was just one night, 2 days of all thousands, that we will be married. From statistical point of view, this is insignificant. We can forget about it. If you're willing to try, she pleads. Thanks for math lesson, Amanda, but never saw our marriage as math problem. Would you feel same way about it if I did it with Ashley Parker? Ashley Parker, divorced blonde living nearby. Good figure. Every woman on street watches how she interacts with husbands. Wait, are you implying you want Ashley? No way, she exclaims. Listen to yourself, Amanda. Never said I wanted Ashley. You did. Was just asking how you'd react if I did. Explain calmly. She looks puzzled until realizes what's happening. Then expression turns to anger. Can read between lines. No need for words. Say smugly. She avoids looking me in eyes. Do you realize that because of what happened, other kids in neighborhood bullied Claire? They heard their mothers calling you names. It was unpleasant. Say firmly. Her anger replaced by shock. At this revelation, Claire never mentioned it. She breathes, digesting what she heard. I'm really sorry. Not sorry enough. You described that evening as unforgettable. Well, it was definitely unforgettable for both of us. I will never forget your betrayal. Turn away. Go to sleep. Unaware of her actions after. Credit to Amanda. Over next few months, dedicates herself to being exemplary mother. Traditionally, I was primary caregiver, but suddenly she takes on her share. Shuttling kids to activities, supporting them enthusiastically. Makes me wonder if she finally realized prioritizing family over desires is key to keeping us together. What a revelation. Kids seem to appreciate extra attention. But once again, my daughter shows remarkable perception. Mom's really trying hard, Daddy. She remarks one day. Hope she apologized properly. For whatever she did wrong, try responding with genuine smile. Acknowledging her awareness. To outside world, everything seems fine in Anderson household. Work diligently to maintain appearances. Amanda seems willing to go great lengths, not only to keep up appearances, but also regain my favor. We're two people living under same roof, enjoying certain benefits, though she strongly desires return to complete normalcy, believing I'll eventually yield. Somewhere within me, remnants of love for her still linger. Can't simply erase 9 years. Of her being center of my life, she makes things harder for herself. By maintaining contact with Senator, after I checked her calls and messages, shortly after her date, she makes sure to keep them cleared. But she doesn't know how simple it is to clone someone's phone for access to all messages. Appears he keeps regular touch, while she seems trying to keep distance, at least for now. Can we arrange another date soon? I'll be in town. He texted almost a month ago. My husband's still upset about last time. Can't risk it, she replies, needless to say. Not impressed. Month later, mark our 10th anniversary. With family trip to Adventure World. Kids have blast, but Amanda doesn't. Waits until kids busy with games before expressing disappointment. We've always celebrated anniversaries, just the two of us. With special night, you've changed tradition because you're still holding grudge. When did you become so petty and small? She remarks. Once again, answer to that question, same as many others. The day of your date, you did this to me, to us, and to yourself. Respond firmly. Can't you move past this? She pleads. How often do you two communicate? Ask pointedly. She dares to smirk, reaches into pocket, retrieves her phone, passes it to me. Toss it high into air. Catch it effortlessly. Know you've been unfaithful, but also recognize your intelligence. Bet there's no evidence of affair on that phone. Not since I confiscated it first time. However, there are records of past texts and calls. You may not have initiated, but never heard you outright reject him either. Why is that? Her cheeks redden, averts her gaze. Yeah, I knew it, muttered to myself. My job and children are anchors. During this tumultuous period, though coworkers often remark, I look like need solid night's sleep. Or maybe 6, certain developing ulcer. Alcohol consumption increased. Sleep elusive, nights when lay awake for hours. Staring at my wife, wondering what went wrong. She insists she loves me, rationalizes her actions as separate from our relationship. Feels entitled to her night with Senator. Expresses no remorse. Only regret for pain caused me. Wait anxiously for other shoe to drop. Surprisingly, mother-in-law becomes source of support. During trying time, we're sorry, Matthew. Didn't raise her to be so selfish. But genuinely hope you can find way to move past this. Know you're doing it for children, she confides during call checking on me. Enter kitchen. Grab another cooler of beer. To bring outside, our regular monthly winter gathering. In neighborhood, 2 grills fired up outside. Array of hot and cold dishes. Fruits, desserts, various drinks. Weather perfect. Sunny, 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Barely a breeze. Gathering been going few hours. Likely continue another 5 or 6. These events always blast, for kids and adults alike. Making way through house, catch sound of female voices. Coming from home office, since office off limits to non-family. Plan to redirect whoever it is to family room or living area, while most action outdoors. Sometimes people seek refuge inside for heating or quiet conversation, but that particular room problematic. Yeah, sometimes when Matthew really takes control, I think of him. He's dominant, powerful, goes after what he wants. There are moments when I can't help but reminisce about that night. It's memory I'll cherish forever. About to enter room, when Amanda makes declaration to whoever she's with. Freeze in steps, knees buckle, nearly stumble. Damn it. How many people know? I'm being cheated on? Hear laughter. Seems like 3 of them inside. Can't catch rest of conversation. Too busy trying hold back vomit. Relieved make it to bathroom. Before getting sick, empty everything eaten. Night before, breakfast and lunch. After cleaning up, grab cooler of beer. Head outside, open 2 bottles. Hand them to guys manning grills. Hey Matthew, you all right? You seem bit off, remarks John Wilson. Just preoccupied, John. Everything's fine. Reply before drifting away. Remain quiet rest of gathering. When Amanda and companions return, feel like being observed. Notice smirks directed my way. Maybe becoming paranoid, but eventually seems like almost all women at barbecue. Smirking at me. Later that night, after putting kids to bed, finishing cleanup, confront wife about disappointment. She sits on lounge chair, sipping wine cooler, looking satisfied. I settle beside her. Did anyone visit today? Who doesn't know about your affair? Ask earnestly. She appears shocked. Feigning innocence. Stare back at her. I might have mentioned it to few girlfriends recently. It was thrilling experience. She chuckles. He's charming, Senator. Couldn't resist sharing. So first you cheat, then you embarrass me to your friends. Meaning every husband now knows. You're unfaithful, and I'm a cuckold. I'm not unfaithful. Won't tolerate being called that, she shouts. It was just one time. Didn't sleep with some stranger. In seedy motel, her eyes shimmer with intensity as she stands from chair. I've had enough of this, she declares, voice escalating. You've been playing games for over a year now. Your wife had fling with another man, a handsome, strong man. Time to move on. Won't be held hostage by your insecurities anymore. If you can't let go, That's your problem. Either file for divorce or accept reality. Tired of living lie with you, pretending to be Mr. Perfect. Make decision already. Taken aback by her outburst. Sit in shock for what feels like ages, though probably only moments. When returned to senses, she already walked away, leaving me alone, unnaturally reserved, slow to react. While some, including wife, interpret this as weakness, rarely panic or act rashly, saddens me to think about not seeing children every day. Although hope to salvage family, prepared for worst. Had lawyer ready to fight for me. First thing Monday morning. Take action. Amanda served with divorce papers at her workplace before day is out. Predictably, she not pleased. About 5 minutes after served, phone begins buzzing incessantly. Ignore all her calls. Anticipating impending storm. Upon return home, walk into house from garage. Amanda unleashes torrent of anger. You humiliate me. In front of my colleagues. Much like you humiliated me. In front of friends and neighbors. Other day, retort back. You practically begged me to file, so I did. She shoots disdainful look, but remains silent. Set down belongings. Seek out children for brief conversation, reassuring them of enduring love, despite not living under same roof. Starting tomorrow, Claire grasps situation, having friends with divorced parents. But Lucas seems confused. No have work cut out with him, though confident daughter will help. We reside in no-fault state, making divorce process seemingly straightforward. She's set to gain primary custody, the house, child support, some alimony. But oh no, for some inexplicable reason, known only to her, she vehemently contests it. Her attorney employs various tactics to prolong proceedings, insisting on meetings, even suggesting marital counseling. What's the deal, Amanda? Your actions speak louder than words. You claim to love me, yet cause so much strife, then have audacity to boast about him being best you ever had. Why would I want this marriage? When all I get is aggravation, I adore my children. But if I stay with you, all they'll remember is bitter man, expressed during one session. But I do love you, Matthew. You're fixated on one incident. Yes, he was exceptional, but it was one-time mistake. Please let it go, she pleads. Can't, Amanda, retort firmly. You betrayed our vows. You downplay its significance. Can't overlook that. You made promises to me. I hadn't intended to do it. Truly hadn't, but everyone has breaking point. Beauty of two-party political system lies in its dichotomy, regardless how you characterize it. Senator belonged to one faction. Men opposing party would eagerly welcome any information tarnishing his reputation. Over a year ago, following Amanda's date, established contingency plan, enlisted help of well-connected attorney in our city to approach chairman of opposing party. Chairman eager for anything, could disrupt senator's re-election, jeopardize his White House ambitions. Eagerly awaited information, despite offering substantial monetary reward, had to settle for assurance. Evidence would only be disclosed if possessor desired it. Every month, my attorney updated me on chairman's persistent requests. This month we were ready to fulfill chairman's wishes. Meeting marked my first involvement, scheduled at attorney's office. After introductions, retrieve sealed plastic bag from briefcase, place on conference table. Chairman's astonishment palpable as he glimpses contents of bag. Dear God, he murmurs, is that what I suspect it to be? If you suspect its downfall of senator's career, then yes, reply calmly. Chairman gazes at bag like it holds precious gold bars, refrains from reaching out, instead continues staring. Expression of utter amazement. How? He whispers. That arrogant woman. Returned home and headed upstairs. For shower, recounts slowly. Since she handles laundry, suppose she felt confident. I never sifted through basket, waited until heard water running, slipped into bathroom, discovered panties at bottom of hamper. Anyone who watches TV nowadays knows about DNA. Certain when you have these tested, you'll find two distinct sets. By the way, here's her toothbrush. For DNA comparison, assume you'll manage to obtain senator's sample to match, unless you already have it. Add giving chairman's stern look. He flushes, glances away, just as suspected. No, he already had all details. No need repeating. Notice his face reflects unspoken question. Why? Because she's not smart enough to understand that she shouldn't mess with me. She cheated on me, but arrogantly believes I will eventually forgive her. Now she's even flaunting it in front of me. To hell with her. And senator she's associated with. Your career is over. Robert Martinez. Damn you foolish woman. How on earth did your weak husband manage to gather proof of our weekend together? I suspected he was aware, but actual evidence? How? Martinez yelled at Amanda. Over phone week after meeting with chairman. I don't know. No clue what you're talking about, she stammers to Senator. Taken aback when call appears. On phone, I used to clone hers. Basically admitted to her, I had tapped her phone months ago. They hadn't been using that method of communication, if they had been communicating at all. What have you done, Matthew? She asks when I answer. Her call 90 minutes later, know exactly what she means. But feeling mischievous, or so I thought. Ha! Replied cheerfully. Just ordered pepperoni pizza and garlic bread. Why would you even care? What I eat? Wait, how do you even know what I'm eating? She snarls at me. Could tell from past experience. She truly despises my foolish behavior. May have seemed convinced I was weakling, but she knew I wasn't foolish. Well, suppose being right about one thing out of two wasn't too bad. I'm not sure how you managed it, but seems you've exacted revenge on Senator Martinez. He threatened to rough me up over something you did, but wouldn't say what. Thanks for that, by the way. My parents are furious with me. Yours are too. Clara's been giving me cold shoulder, and you just can't seem to shake idea that what Robert and I did was separate from our relationship. Yeah, about that. Begins slowly. 2 months after meeting with Chairman, Senator Martinez, practically guaranteed to retain seat, suddenly withdrew from Senate race. 8 months before election, citing extreme mental exhaustion. With everything else happening in my life, seeking female companionship was least of concerns. Hadn't even looked at woman in an attractive way for several months. When my daughter asks about it, Daddy, when are you going to start dating? Claire asks cheerfully. During second weekend kids with me. Lauren's mom really wants to go out with you. Find myself dumbfounded, jaw likely hanging open, caught up in whirlwind of divorce. Hadn't really considered future, much beyond tending to kids. Every other weekend, and couple weeks in summer, Lauren's mom mentioned this. And you're fine with it? Ask, feeling taken aback. Well, she didn't tell me directly, Dad, Claire explains. I overheard her talking to Katie's mom. But yes, I'd be okay with it, Dad. I don't want you to be alone. But please, Dad, not Melody's mom. None of us kids like her. Lauren's mom divorced from her good-for-nothing husband for around 5 years. She's charming, vivacious blonde with curves, exudes effervescent personality. A former cheerleader she once was, had no inkling she might be interested in me. When you're married, don't go around considering other women's potential. Or at least I didn't. Was I naive? Unbeknownst to me, Claire observing me closely. It's all right, Dad. I'm almost 9. I understand about divorce and stuff. Lucas and I will be fine. You just take care of yourself. And just like that, seems I'm back in dating scene. Lauren's mother, Julie, is my first date. After re-entering dating scene, and it's enjoyable, feeling sense of obligation. Disclosed to her, I'm not emotionally ready for anything serious. Considering recent return to dating, she responds with comforting smile. Assures me don't need to justify myself. To every person I date, Julie imparts valuable advice, almost like crash course, in dealing with divorced parents. She also warns me, might attract attention from other divorced mothers of my kids' friends, given my reputation as good guy father with decent job, and well, not unattractive. She blushes mentioning last part. Go on to date Julie and few other divorced mothers. Erratic thoughts of ex-wife Amanda and our past marriage rarely cross my mind. Occasionally feel lonely, but not enough to consider reconciling with her. Refuse to dwell on possibility of her betraying me again. Amanda, however, isn't hesitant to dismiss her affair as mere silly mistake, insisting she'd never repeat. Silly mistake. Scoff at this. It was poor judgment, lack of respect, and ultimately selfishness. You chose affair with Senator over your family's love. Her mouth opens and closes twice. Can sense her desire to respond, but finds herself speechless, realizing nothing she could say to defend her position. Half expected her to persist, especially given that contacting Senator seemed futile now. My ex-mother-in-law informed me one Saturday during dinner, while kids and I were visiting, that he instructed her never to reach out to him again. He seems convinced you played role in his withdrawal from senatorial race, and he believes she didn't do enough to intervene, raise eyebrow, continue eating silently, choose not to offer remarks. A few months later, some guys from work suggest trying new upscale bar with dance floor on Thursday evening. Used to avoid such outings like plague when married, but as single man, find myself going out regularly. 4 of us secure table, order drinks, survey scene, taking an atmosphere. As soon as 2 women enter, They catch my attention. First woman looks early 40s, dressed in style more suitable for those over 30, trying to create youth atmosphere, wearing silk blue blouse, partially unbuttoned, short skirt shows off, long athletic legs, short dark brown hair, green eyes, seems to radiate confidence. Her companion seems somewhat out of place. In bar setting, looks little older, perhaps early 50s, exudes array of sophistication and wealth, dressed in sweater and skirt, clearly bought an expensive boutique, exudes elegance and beauty, shoulder-length silver blonde hair, dark eyes, taking seat at table. Not far from us, women immediately attract attention from men ready to offer company or dance. Can't help thinking, wouldn't mind dancing with one. Dark-haired woman seems ready to have fun and maybe more, doesn't hesitate to dance with any man who invites her. On contrary, blonde woman dances only few times, seems more restrained in movements. Hour later, decide to ask blonde woman to dance. However, when approach her table, brunette suddenly grabs my hand, leads me to dance floor, completely absorbed in her. Forget about her friend. We danced a couple fun songs before tempo slows down. Shocked when she kisses me passionately. I'm charmed. We leave club together, head to my house. Too involved in bed. That evening, she shares details of her life. Turns out she and friend were celebrating her recent divorce. Rose is an amazing lover. We continue to date about a month until she expresses reluctance to commit herself so soon after divorce. I understand her point of view. We part amicably. However, since first meeting, never had opportunity to ask about her friend, which aroused unquenchable curiosity. A few weeks later, find myself alone in bar of another upscale establishment, seeking solace over drink after busy week. Not my turn with kids, so on my own for weekend, she enters room alone. Let me tell you, all eyes on her, has figure reminiscent of Kate Hudson, with lush cascade of loose brown curls, crowning her head, falling over shoulders, gracefully walks over to me. On 4-inch stilettos, sits down next to me. Damn it! Convinced I'd ascended to heaven, thinking feverishly, trying to come up with dazzling opening phrase. But before can speak, she looks into my eyes, asks what I'm drinking. Rye Angel's Envy, reply grinning. My thoughts instantly scattered as look at her. Oh, great choice. Man with fine taste. She purrs, orders same drink. Undiluted as mine, spends evening telling stories about boutique marketing company she founded many years ago. Amazing. Not only stunning and smart, but owns thriving business. Couple hours later, we leave together, head to her amazing apartment. She mentions prefers making love in her own bed, which most women do. Delves into psychology behind it. Seriously doubt she's 45, given impeccably toned physique. Our first meeting excellent. She's amazing kisser. Feel connection with her. Hadn't felt since date with Amanda. In just one night, Sophia Washington opens up to me. More honestly than Amanda did. In our 9 years of marriage, Sophia confesses, her commitment lies primarily with her career, has no desire for children, preferring instead casual relationships. With several men, feel genuine connection with her, would have potentially fallen in love, but since that wasn't an option, agree to be friends with benefits. For next year, we meet about once a month until Sophia unexpectedly falls in love with much younger man. Lucky guy. Occasionally ex-mother-in-law calls. Despite divorce, we remain close, bonded by understanding, and grandchildren. Still refer to them as mom and dad. Could I ask you for favor, Matthew? She asks cautiously. Of course, as long as it doesn't involve your daughter. Reply immediately. Favor involved escorting personal administrator of my mother-in-law's company to their upcoming Christmas party. Seriously, she's decent person, Matthew. She went through divorce a couple years back with abusive cheater. Don't think she's dated anyone since. She's been hurt, Matthew. Needs decent guy? To prove not all men are scoundrels. And believe you're that decent guy. My ex-mother-in-law explains. Isn't it strange? When your former mother-in-law tries to set you up on date? Just one thing, Mom. Interject quickly. Please tell me she's not boring. Mom gets joke and chuckles. Think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Might even let us have kids. For overnight or two, she teases. Mom was right. Elizabeth Sarah is petite bundle of charm. Physical presence boasts well-proportioned assets. Sociable without being overly bubbly. Has cute habit of wrinkling nose and squinting her green eyes. When she's happy, equally important, she genuinely has great personality. Make point to stick close. Throughout evening, giving her my full attention, just as would have with ex-wife. Elizabeth seems delighted with gesture. She's engaging in conversation, though tends to defer to others, which guess is understandable. Given her background, we sit with my in-laws at table. Mom displays usual grace, while Dad initially seems a bit reserved. Understand his demeanor, but he gradually becomes more open. As evening progresses, surprise Elizabeth with my dancing skill, which had learned to please Amanda, who loved dancing. Elizabeth also shows proficiency, especially in fast dances, seamlessly fits with me in slow dances, as if been together for years. Enjoy sensation of her body pressed against mine. As escort Elizabeth to door, she gives gentle kiss on lips, shares her phone number. No, I owe my in-laws more time with grandchildren. After waiting 3 days, call Elizabeth, ask her out. She agrees to date. Following Friday, at one of city's top Italian restaurants, followed by art show at local gallery. Elizabeth dressed more provocatively for our date than she had at Christmas party, impressing me even more. We have fantastic time. Continue to go out 3 more times before decide it's time for her to meet my 8-year-old daughter and for me to meet her daughter. Spend quality time together, playing miniature golf, having picnic at nearby park. Overall felt it went well, especially since 2 girls bonded remarkably. Although my son, as expected for his age, wasn't as thrilled, considering all girls had cuties. Everything going well, until few weeks into new school year, get unexpected call from Amanda. I don't know what your girlfriend has been teaching my kids, but your son was in principal's office today for fighting. His face looks beaten up. He's been given 3 days detention. All he's saying is that it started with this Nicole girl he keeps referring to as his sister. She shouts over phone. Firstly, you don't have right to call my girlfriend names. As for Lucas, I'll come over after dinner, take him out for ice cream. Let's not jump to conclusions. Until we know what really happened, respond calmly. Hear her sigh before hanging up. After dinner, pick up Lucas. Head to small family-owned ice cream shop. As soon as he gets in car, give him thorough visual inspection. Has cut on lip, scrape on left side of face. You should see other guy, Dad, he quips. How about truth, Lucas Benjamin? Respond using full name. To convey seriousness, he winces at use of both names. Some kid was bothering Nicole. I told him to leave my sister alone. He threw first punch. Then I hit him pretty hard. They say I broke his nose. It made loud crack. There was blood everywhere. He explains, trying to suppress grin. Boy bothering Nicole was 2 years older than Lucas. When I talk to Nicole, will she tell me same story? Inquire carefully. Definitely, Dad. I wouldn't have hit him if he hadn't thrown first punch, just protecting Nicole. You always tell me to look out for Claire. So figured it applied to Nicole, too. She's so small, Dad. Lucas justifies. She is, Lucas. And you did right thing. Reply unable to hide pride in voice. Nicole inherited petite stature from her mother, standing at least half head shorter than most classmates. Always emphasized to Lucas. Importance of looking out for sister. Seems he now considers Nicole part of his family. Intriguing how sometimes innocence of youth can surpass wisdom of age. I'm proud of you for defending Nicole, but keep it between us. Tell him carefully. I'll speak with principal, see what can be done. You might want to fill your mother in on Nicole's situation. Seems you and Claire haven't been keeping her fully informed about my life, which I appreciate, by the way, but might be better. If it comes from you and Claire, suggest thoughtfully. My 7-year-old understands perfectly. Children mature so quickly these days. Oh, and Dad, when are you and Elizabeth tying knot? She's amazing, you know. He adds, as I said, they grow up fast, and he was right. It was time to commit to that woman. Following day, contact principal. School enforces strict zero-tolerance policy regarding fighting, irrespective of whether student acting in self-defense. Nonetheless, they also uphold zero-tolerance approach towards bullying. Consequently, perpetrator received 6-day detention following interviews with witnesses. Although disagreed with policy, advised Lucas to accept punishment maturely. Furthermore, assured him of my support and promised to propose to Elizabeth as soon as could afford ring. Things get messy when Amanda discovers Elizabeth is Mom's personal assistant and that Mom arranged their meeting. What on earth, Mom? Aren't you supposed to be on my side? Amanda yells at her later. According to Mom, there's no your side, Mom responded firmly. Matthew's not coming back to you. You completely messed that up, so why let good man go to waste? Elizabeth is a wonderful woman and great friend. She deserves someone like Matthew. Scream that came from Amanda was described by Mom as horrifying as she recounted incident. While both my children enjoy Elizabeth's company, my daughter in particular seems to admire her nurturing demeanor towards me. Elizabeth has natural inclination to fulfill my desires, making me feel like master of my domain. This in turn encourages me to treat her as my queen. Claire appears to delight in witnessing affectionate competition between Elizabeth and me. I'm not sure if you two are endearing or nauseating, Claire remarks one day, but I enjoy being around to witness it. A couple months later, our small wedding only includes our 3 children, my parents, and my ex-in-laws as guests. Court clerk who officiated was taken aback when my ex-mother-in-law stood as Elizabeth's maid of honor. It's quite a tale. Chuckle when she inquires. Nobody expects Spanish Inquisition originates from classic British comedy, Monty Python's Flying Circus. But truth be told, nobody anticipates inquiry from federal marshal either. Caught me completely off guard when 2 such officials entered my office. On Monday morning, seemed authorities were displeased about certain former senators' altercation and subsequent injury in restroom of upscale restaurant in Houston, Texas. My name, along with several other aggrieved husbands, surfaced as potential suspects. Clarify to them that my alibi involved being at home with wife and 3 children, several hundred miles away from scene of crime. Can't say I'm sorry to hear about senators' troubles. Nobody, and I truly mean that, deserves it more. Remarked to discontented marshals. You do realize that fool slept with my then wife almost 4 years ago. If I had any intentions, wouldn't I have acted long before now? Retort with heavy sarcasm. However, grilling from federal agents? Just the beginning. Week later, reporter from Associated Press shows up at my office, seeking details about incident. Appeared he somehow obtained confidential roster of 26 women Senator allegedly had affairs with during his time in office. At this juncture, several individuals aware of Amanda's rendezvous with Senator, though I certainly didn't broadcast it. Over years, Amanda likely disclosed to more people than I did, as she took pride in achievement. However, couldn't help but wonder about her level of pride when news of Senator's misconduct emerged, implicating her as one of his lovers. Why did you disclose that to him? She practically yells over phone. I didn't. He informed me your name was on Senator's roster. All I did was confirm accuracy of your inclusion on list. Wasn't going to fabricate to spare you from embarrassment. Promiscuous. I am not promiscuous. She screams before I end call. Must confess I chuckled. Also entertained thought of taking extended vacation out of town when news article broke. She messed up literally, yet I was going to suffer embarrassing fallout as well. Elizabeth talked me out of that notion. So to speak, don't engage in any confrontations. Stick to truth. She cheated, you divorced her. Move on, Elizabeth advised. Unfortunately, my children were going to endure verbal bullying for a remainder of school years, would be addressing fact that their mother was self-centered cheater for years to come. Also sympathized greatly with my ex-in-laws, who had become close friends of ours. After article came out, we invited them to stay with us in house we had purchased for a couple weeks. During that time, they mostly stayed indoors, avoided answering phones. I love my daughter. You understand how it is when you're parent, but I'm so ashamed that she thought it was acceptable to act promiscuously for a day, Dad confessed. No father wants his daughter to be seen in that light. As time passed, scandal faded. Life returned to normal. Gradually, my children started spending more time with Elizabeth, Nicole, and me at our home. It wasn't anything formal, but our house naturally became a gathering spot for neighborhood kids. Initially, Amanda complained, but believed Mom smoothed things over. Additionally, I ensured that Claire and Lucas maintained open communication with Amanda, so she couldn't accuse me of taking her children away. Again, having Mom and Dad visit frequently helped ease tensions. I think when kids were with me, we rarely discussed Amanda. Though she remained their mother, she had become an ex in my life. They also avoided mentioning her, out of consideration for Elizabeth, whom they had taken to calling Mom, naturally, as Nicole did. Initially sensed discomfort from Amanda's parents when kids started referring to Elizabeth as Mom, but that soon dissipated. Since they had been close to Elizabeth, even before we got married, amidst tumult in my life, and my families paid little attention to what was happening in Amanda's life, knew she occasionally dated, based on what kids mentioned, but taken aback when Claire announced one afternoon that her mother was engaged. Wave of sadness washes over me for what might have been, then feel comforting embrace wrap around me, and my sadness swiftly transforms into joy for what I now possessed.